We started out the right way, the hard way. Nobody should be offered limos and private jets.
Have you heard the heartbreaking story of Patti LaBelle? Her personal life is a far cry from the persona she appears to have on stage. In a recent interview, Patti LaBelle summoned up the courage to speak out about the struggles she has endured, from childhood abuse to complex legal battles to even heartbreaking loss. Remember, Patti LaBelle has never revealed this before, and this is a rare opportunity for you to hear about the dark side of her life. Let's start the video. The painful truth is that Patti LaBelle's childhood, though marked by relative economic comfort, was overshadowed by significant personal and familial challenges. Her father, Henry Holt, worked as a railroad worker and was also a nightclub singer, while her mother, Bertha Holt, faced numerous hardships, including years of abuse that ultimately led to the couple's separation when Patti was just 12 years old. Despite the separation, LaBelle maintained a close relationship with her father until his passing, finding solace in their bond. LaBelle's upbringing was further marred by a traumatic event during her formative years. At a young age, she was assaulted by a family friend, a deeply painful experience that she did not speak about for many years. This incident left an indelible mark on her emotional well-being, shaping her view of the world and her own place within it. Despite the trauma, LaBelle found refuge in her church, which became a sanctuary where she could both heal and cultivate her musical talents. The church provided a supportive environment where she could channel her pain into artistic expression and growth. In her early years, LaBelle was described as timid and quiet, a characterization that aligned with her own reflections on her youth. In a documentary about her life, LaBelle confessed that she never anticipated a career in music. She initially envisioned herself as a housewife, and her introverted nature meant that the vibrant personality she would later exhibit was not immediately apparent. Her introspection and shyness contrasted sharply with the powerful stage presence she would come to embody. During high school, LaBelle, along with her older sister and 3 friends, formed a singing group. Despite their enthusiasm and shared musical interests, the group's existence was short-lived. The dynamics within the group were strained by conflicts, particularly between LaBelle and her sister, leading to their disbandment after only one performance. This early experience in group dynamics, although challenging, was formative in shaping LaBelle's future as an artist. Despite these early setbacks, LaBelle's passion for music remained strong. Throughout her high school years, she continued to pursue her musical interests as part of another group called the Ordettes. This group provided LaBelle with additional opportunities to hone her craft and gain experience in the competitive world of music. The Ordettes played a significant role in her development as a performer, laying the groundwork for her future success. Opting to drop out of school, LaBelle chose to focus on her burgeoning music career by touring with her group, now under the management of Bernan Montague. This move was both bold and transformative, as it marked the beginning of a period of intense professional development and growth for the young singer. Over the next few years, LaBelle dedicated herself to touring and performing, gradually building a loyal following. Her talent and determination earned her recognition and respect in the music industry, laying the groundwork for her future success. During this formative period, LaBelle's life took an unexpected turn when she became infatuated with a rising star in the music world. In the early 1960s, while LaBelle was establishing herself as a prominent singer in Philadelphia, she crossed paths with Otis Williams, a key member of the Temptations, one of the most popular Motown groups of the time. The Temptations' visit to Philadelphia for a show provided the backdrop for their meeting. According to HuffPost, the encounter between LaBelle and Williams was charged with chemistry, and their courtship began soon after the show. Their relationship, though intense and passionate, was marked by complexities that LaBelle later reflected upon with a sense of ambivalence. Looking back, LaBelle questioned whether her attraction to Williams was rooted in genuine affection for him as an individual, or if it was influenced by his status as a member of the Temptations, a legendary group that symbolized success and fame. This introspective analysis highlights the often blurred lines between personal feelings and the allure of celebrity, a theme that resonates throughout LaBelle's career. As their relationship progressed, Williams proposed marriage to LaBelle, a gesture that signified the depth of his commitment. However, LaBelle faced a significant crossroads at this juncture. According to her autobiography, Don't Block the Blessings, Williams' proposal came with the expectation that she would relocate to California and slow down her music career to focus on their relationship and future together. For LaBelle, this presented an impossible choice. Her music career was her passion and her livelihood, and the thought of abandoning it for a domestic life in California was not something she could reconcile with. LaBelle's decision to turn down Williams's proposal was a profound one, reflecting her dedication to her career and her unwillingness to compromise on her professional aspirations. While the relationship ended, LaBelle and Williams maintained a close friendship over the years, even as their respective careers continued to rise. Their enduring friendship exemplifies the respect and mutual admiration they held for each other, despite the romantic relationship not progressing to marriage. There is a hidden negative story about Patti LaBelle and Jackie Wilson that few people know. Patti LaBelle, in her autobiography, Don't Block the Blessings, recounts a troubling encounter with Wilson that reveals a darker aspect of his character. In the early 1960s, LaBelle was an emerging talent, still establishing her presence in the music world, while Wilson was a well-established star. The incident occurred backstage at a theater in Brooklyn, where LaBelle was alone and unaware of the looming danger. According to LaBelle's account, Wilson approached her from behind and began to kiss her neck, an unsettling invasion of personal space that quickly escalated into a more alarming situation. LaBelle, who described the scene with chilling clarity, noted that she could smell alcohol on Wilson's breath, indicating he might have been under the influence at the time. The situation deteriorated further when Wilson and an associate allegedly attempted to forcibly carry LaBelle into a locked room. This act of aggression placed LaBelle in an extremely vulnerable position, as she found herself unable to defend against the two men due to a lack of physical strength and any means of protection. In a desperate bid to escape, LaBelle screamed loudly, drawing enough attention to prompt Wilson and his associate to release her. Her courageous act of screaming not only allowed her to flee, but also highlighted the frightening reality of navigating such dangerous encounters in the music industry. This incident marked a significant and distressing moment in LaBelle's early career, contrasting sharply with the glamorous image of Wilson as a celebrated performer. Wilson's behavior was not entirely surprising given his reputation for a short temper and a series of extramarital affairs, as noted by Jerry Roos. At the time of the incident, Wilson was married to Frida Hood, his childhood sweetheart. His marriage, however, did not prevent him from engaging in actions that would later tarnish his legacy and impact the lives of those around him. The accounts of Wilson's actions have been corroborated by Gladys Knight, a mutual friend of LaBelle and the late Wilson. While Knight acknowledged LaBelle's experience, she also emphasized Wilson's positive influence on her own career. Knight's nuanced perspective reflects the complexity of Wilson's character. He was known for his generosity and support towards fellow musicians, yet his personal indiscretions and erratic behavior painted a different picture. No musician's journey to success is a straightforward ascent. It is often a winding path marked by perseverance, practice, and the fortuitous alignment of talent and opportunity. Patti LaBelle's rise to prominence was no exception, embodying the trials and tribulations that define many successful artists' careers. After making the pivotal decision to drop out of high school, LaBelle and her group, initially known as the Ordettes, embarked on a grueling tour of the East Coast. This period was characterized by relentless performances at various venues, a testament to their determination and commitment to making a name for themselves in the competitive music industry. The Ordettes, consisting of LaBelle and her talented bandmates Sarah Dash, Nona Hendricks, and Cindy Birdsong, faced the common challenges of early-stage musicianship, finding the right opportunities, honing their craft, and building a fan base. Their journey was marked by daily gigs and countless hours spent perfecting their performances, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become a significant breakthrough. In 1962, their big break came through a series of fortuitous yet complicated events involving a song titled "I Sold My Heart to a Junk Man." According to John Clemente's book Girl Groups, Fabulous Females Who Rocked the World, the initial opportunity came about when Harold B. Robinson, a car dealer with aspirations of launching his own record label, approached the Starlets, another girl group, to record the song. Despite being associated with another label, Robinson persuaded the Starlets to record the track, promising that it would not conflict with their existing commitments. However, the situation became entangled when Robinson's Newton Records officially launched later that year. Robinson released the track credited to the Bluebells, an alternate name used for the Ordettes in this context. The Ordettes, who were unaware of the prior recording by the Starlets, recorded "I Sold My Heart to a Junk Man" during an audition for Robinson. The song began to gain traction and climb in popularity, signaling a potential breakthrough for LaBelle and her group. The rising success of the song, however, was marred by legal complications. The manager of the Starlets, realizing that the same song was being promoted by another group under a different name, filed a lawsuit against Robinson. This legal dispute put Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells in a difficult position, caught in the crossfire between competing interests and legal battles. Following their turbulent experience with the Starlets and Harold Robinson, Patti LaBelle and her group navigated a period marked by both successes and setbacks. In the early 1960s, the group recorded several top 40 hits, which established them as a promising act. Despite these achievements, their trajectory was not without its challenges. In 1965, seeking to capitalize on their growing reputation, the Bluebells signed with Atlantic Records. This move, however, did not yield the expected results. The group's time with Atlantic was fraught with difficulties as they struggled to replicate their earlier successes. The label's efforts to rebrand and promote the group did not resonate as hoped, leading to a period of stagnation. By the end of their contract, the lineup was beginning to shift, and Cindy Birdsong left the Bluebells to join the Supremes, replacing Florence Ballard. The early 1970s marked a significant turning point for the group. In 1970, they began working with British television producer Vicky Wickman, who played a pivotal role in redefining their musical direction. Wickman renamed the group LaBelle and steered them towards the burgeoning glitter rock scene, a genre characterized by flamboyant costumes and theatrical performances. This shift in style proved to be transformative for LaBelle, leading them to unprecedented critical and commercial success. Under Wickman's guidance, LaBelle achieved a landmark moment in their career with the release of Lady Marmalade, which topped the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The song, with its infectious melody and bold style, became a defining hit for the group and cemented their place in music history. LaBelle's embrace of glitter rock and their distinctive style garnered widespread acclaim and established them as pioneers in the genre. Patti LaBelle's autobiography, Don't Block the Blessings, highlights the group's groundbreaking achievements during this period. Notably, LaBelle became the first black pop act to perform at the Metropolitan Opera House, a significant milestone in the history of American music. Additionally, the group was the first black vocal ensemble to grace the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, further solidifying their status as influential figures in the music industry. Despite their critical acclaim and commercial success, internal discord began to strain the group's dynamics. By the mid-1970s, LaBelle faced a series of challenges rooted in the differing musical visions of its members. Patti LaBelle expressed a desire to return to soulful ballads, while Nona Hendryx leaned towards glam rock, and Sarah Dash preferred disco. This divergence in musical direction created tensions within the group. The culmination of these internal conflicts became evident during a performance in December 1976. As the trio prepared to conclude their show, Nona Hendryx abruptly left the stage and experienced a mental breakdown. Hendryx was subsequently taken to the hospital, and the event marked a turning point for the group. Faced with ongoing disagreements and the emotional toll of the performance, the remaining members of LaBelle decided to disband. Following the breakup of LaBelle, it was widely anticipated that Patti LaBelle would emerge as the standout star. The group had been named after her, and she had been the primary vocalist, so the expectation was that her solo career would quickly eclipse the success she had achieved with LaBelle. While her initial solo efforts showed promise, it would take several years and multiple albums before Patti LaBelle would reach the same level of success she had enjoyed with her former group. Patti LaBelle's debut solo album, simply titled Patti LaBelle, was released in 1977. The album was met with critical acclaim and featured notable singles like Joy to Have Your Love, Dance With Me, and You Are My Friend. These tracks showcased LaBelle's powerful vocals and set a strong foundation for her future solo career. Despite the positive reception, the commercial success of the album did not translate into sustained momentum. LaBelle's subsequent albums, including Tasty, 1978, It's All Right With Me, 1980, and Released, 1981, did not achieve the same level of success as her debut. Each of these albums struggled to make a significant impact on the charts, and none of them reached the heights of her previous work with LaBelle. The early 1980s were a challenging period for LaBelle as she faced difficulties in finding her footing in the highly competitive music industry. In 1981, Patti LaBelle made a significant career move by leaving Epic Records and signing with Philadelphia International Records, a label known for its rich history of soul and R&B. This transition marked a new chapter in LaBelle's career. Her interest in Broadway also grew during this period, leading her to explore opportunities in theater. Despite her ventures into theater, Patti LaBelle never fully stepped away from music. In 1983, while she was still performing on Broadway, LaBelle recorded a new version of the ballad, The Best Is Yet to Come. This year also saw the release of the single If Only God Knew and the album I'm in Love Again. This album marked a turning point for LaBelle, breaking her streak of less successful releases. I'm in Love Again peaked at number 1. 46 on the Billboard 200 and achieved gold status, selling over 500,000 copies. The album's success marked the beginning of a highly successful decade for Patti LaBelle. In Live Through This, surviving the intersections of sexuality, God, and race, Callie Kane refers to Patti LaBelle as arguably the greatest gay icon of all time and a prime example of the intersection of the LGBT community and Black female artists. This characterization highlights LaBelle's profound impact on the LGBT community, despite her personal heterosexuality and her strong ties to the church during her upbringing. Over the past 5 decades, LaBelle's music and advocacy have solidified her reputation as a champion for LGBT rights and a beloved figure within the community. LaBelle's relationship with the LGBT community has been multifaceted and deeply rooted in her personal values and public advocacy. In an interview with the New York Post, she expressed her commitment to speaking out against injustice, noting, "I'm very vocal about speaking my mind when I see injustice. Sometimes gay men and ladies are afraid to come out and say what they really feel, so I think I'm a voice for some of my children." This statement underscores LaBelle's role as an ally and advocate, using her platform to support and amplify the voices of those who might otherwise be marginalized. One poignant example of LaBelle's supportive role is her relationship with the late singer Luther Vandross. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live, LaBelle revealed that Vandross had confided in her about his desire to come out publicly. He expressed fears of being rejected by his mother and losing the support of his female fans. LaBelle's understanding and support during this vulnerable time reflected her deep compassion and her role as a confidant for those struggling with their identities. LaBelle's advocacy extended significantly during the HIV/AIDS epidemic, a crisis that severely impacted both the LGBT and Black communities. Recognizing the urgent need for awareness and action, LaBelle became a prominent spokesperson for the National Minority AIDS Council in 1987. She spearheaded the Lifelong Sugar campaign, which aimed to encourage people of color to seek treatment and support. This campaign was critical in addressing the disparities in healthcare access and education about HIV/AIDS, particularly within communities that were often overlooked. This will be the section that fans are most curious about Patti LaBelle, which is her love story with Armstead Edwards. Before their marriage, Armstead Edwards was Patti LaBelle's manager, a dynamic that played a significant role in their relationship. According to the Huffington Post, Edwards proposed to LaBelle 3 times before she took the initiative to propose to him herself. "He asked me to marry him 3 times and I said no. The 4th time I asked him," LaBelle recounted. Their unique courtship reflected a deep and enduring connection that would eventually lead to their marriage in 1969. In the years that followed, LaBelle and Edwards built a family together. They welcomed their son, Zuri, in 1973 and took on the responsibility of raising not only their biological child, but also the children of LaBelle's late sister, Jacqueline, as well as the 2 children of a neighbor. This extended family arrangement demonstrated their commitment to nurturing and supporting those around them, creating a large and loving household. However, despite their strong bond and the absence of conflict in their relationship, LaBelle and Edwards' marriage faced challenges over time. After more than 3 decades together, the couple announced their separation in 2000, and their divorce was finalized 3 years later. Despite the end of their marital relationship, LaBelle spoke positively about their separation, emphasizing that it was not marred by animosity. According to Country Living, she reflected, "I never hated him. He never hated me. We just couldn't live together. We never fought, thank God, in 32 years. We got along even when we didn't get along." The amicable nature of their divorce allowed LaBelle and Edwards to maintain a close and supportive relationship even after their separation. They continued to care for their extended family and remained in each other's lives as friends. LaBelle often refers to Edwards as one of her best friends, highlighting the enduring respect and affection they have for one another. Their enduring friendship was evident in a 2019 Instagram post, where LaBelle shared a celebratory moment with Edwards and their family on his birthday. This reunion illustrated that despite no longer being a couple, their bond remained strong, and they continued to support and celebrate each other's milestones. In reflecting on their relationship, LaBelle has consistently emphasized the positive aspects of their time together and the mutual respect that has persisted beyond their marriage. Their story serves as a testament to the idea that love and respect can continue to flourish even as relationships evolve and change over time. While her earlier years were relatively free from legal disputes, recent years have seen a series of lawsuits that have cast shadows over her otherwise illustrious career. The controversy began with a high-profile incident in 2008, which resulted in a lawsuit that garnered significant media attention. In 2010, CNN reported that LaBelle had reached a $100,000 settlement in response to allegations from a mother who claimed that LaBelle had verbally and physically assaulted her and her 18-month-old child. According to the complaint, the incident occurred in a Manhattan hotel lobby, where LaBelle was accused of yelling, screaming obscenities, throwing water and drenching with water, and attempting to strike and injure the woman. LaBelle and her team denied these allegations, but the settlement was a notable blemish on her record, bringing unwanted attention to the singer. The following year, LaBelle faced another legal challenge. In 2011, she was sued after an altercation involving her security team at a West Point event. The lawsuit claimed that LaBelle's security guards had assaulted a West Point cadet who had walked too close to their limousine. According to ABC News, the cadet was left with a concussion from the incident. This lawsuit stirred up more controversy and raised questions about LaBelle's security measures and their conduct. However, in 2014, the Seattle Times reported that a jury ultimately sided with LaBelle's security guards, finding in their favor and dismissing the claims against LaBelle herself. In addition to legal cases, Patti LaBelle also had to deal with family tragedy. LaBelle's family tragedies began with the death of her eldest sister, Vivian Hogan Rogers, who succumbed to lung cancer at just 43 years old. Vivian was not only a family member but also an integral part of LaBelle's early music endeavors. The loss of Vivian was a significant blow, and it set a somber tone for the subsequent tragedies that would befall the LaBelle family. Following Vivian's passing, LaBelle's sister Barbara Holta Purifoy also faced a tragic fate. Barbara, who was part of LaBelle's first singing group, the Ordettes, battled colon cancer and passed away at the age of 40. Her death further compounded the emotional toll on LaBelle, who was already grappling with her sister's loss. The series of losses continued with Jacqueline Holta Paget, LaBelle's youngest sister. Jacqueline's death from brain cancer at the age of 43 was particularly devastating for LaBelle. Jacqueline had requested an egg sandwich from LaBelle shortly before her passing, a request that LaBelle promised to fulfill the next day. Tragically, Jacqueline died before they could meet again, a fact that LaBelle has openly shared as a source of deep personal regret. In an interview on Oprah's Master Class, LaBelle spoke candidly about how this unfulfilled request haunts her, illustrating the deep and unresolved grief she carries. The impact of these losses was compounded by the death of LaBelle's parents. Her father succumbed to Alzheimer's disease, while her mother passed away from diabetes. The death of her mother was especially poignant for LaBelle, as she herself would later be diagnosed with diabetes. This shared affliction with her mother added another layer of emotional complexity to her grief. The diagnosis came as a shock during a 1995 performance in New York when LaBelle fainted on stage. After regaining consciousness, her doctor informed her that she had type 2 diabetes, a revelation that initially filled her with anger and frustration. This reaction was understandable given the challenges that diabetes poses and its personal significance to her family. Diabetes had already claimed the lives of several of LaBelle's family members, including her mother, aunt, and grandmother. The disease's prevalence in her family history added a layer of inevitability to her diagnosis, yet it also intensified her determination to manage it effectively. LaBelle's initial response was one of anger, but this quickly transformed into resolve. Understanding the severe consequences of diabetes, which had previously affected her family members in devastating ways, her mother had undergone amputations, and her aunt had lost her sight. LaBelle found the motivation she needed to tackle the condition head-on. Determined not to let diabetes dictate her life, LaBelle embraced a multifaceted approach to managing her health. She adopted a regular exercise routine with the help of a personal trainer, integrating physical fitness into her busy schedule. LaBelle's commitment to a healthier lifestyle extended beyond the gym. She took control of her diet by writing cookbooks that focused on diabetic-friendly recipes, making healthy eating a central aspect of her life. Additionally, she launched a line of sauces named Patti's Good Life, which allowed her to promote healthy eating while continuing her passion for cooking. What do you think about the tragedies that happened in Patti LaBelle's life? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.